Hi guys, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA. Today announcing a monthly giveaway for any one item on the Heavyweight MMA website. The link will be in the description or the same as down below. On the website, we've got rash shirts, t-shirts, hats, bags. And to enter, all you need to do is be a subscriber or subscribe to YouTube channel. Write a comment in the comments section of the video saying what you want, what color, what size, etc. Anyone can enter, and I'll cover the cost of postage to any address recognized by the website postage service worldwide. The winner will be chosen randomly using a random comment selector, and I'll post the results in the first week of May. So comment and subscribe and have the chance to win. There'll be a summary of the rules of the contest in the description below, or you can email me for a full copy of the rules. All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, I wanted to have a chat about the upcoming UFC 273 next weekend, Volk and Zombie and a few of the other fights on there. It's going to be a bit tricky for you, because you can't really talk too much about Volk sort of side of things, being his training partner, but, at least you can have some opinion on it, I guess.
Yeah, I'll do my best to not give anything away. Yeah.
That's
but
it. I mean,
I doubt Zombie's watching this, to be honest. If he is, he's smart.
That's very true. That's very true. There's probably no fucking chance that he's whenever watching this. And you see, we got two viewers. One of them's fucking Zombie, bro. He's just sitting there waiting for me to
tell the trick.
The fight. Exactly. That's funny.
Guess what, Zombie? I'm not actually. I will give it to you. He's going to come out southpaw and only look for check right hooks. Okay, so be prepared for that.
And I heard he's been working on his capoeira kicks as well, right?
Yeah, plus his Imanari roll. So
that's the best way to get in on Chan Song Jong is the Imanari roll, man. And he's not so well versed in leg locks and stuff, so just straight in there.
Southpaw left high kick to right Imanari roll. I'm telling you, somebody better watch out.
That's the combo. Just got the combo.
UFC video game style.
That's it. Anyway, man, looking at these guys, so we got Alex Volkanovski, a guy you'd be very familiar with. 33 years of age versus 35 years of age. Height 168 centimeters for Volk, 175 centimeters for Zombie, 180 centimeter each for Volk, and 183 centimeter each for Zombie. Record of 24 fights, 23 wins for Volk versus 23 fights for 17 wins. So not too dissimilar with the experience side. Obviously, Zombie's got a slightly bigger reach and height. So yeah, but Volk's used to being the one with a little bit shorter, a little bit less reach, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's always used to being that. Well, at featherweight, you get some of the guys there like the Holloways. It's a bit even Calvin Kattar. They're all pretty big, long, framey sort of guys. So Volk's always used to being the shorter man, but he's got like ape-like arms or something. So he's like reach a bit longer in the reach. Like it's disproportionate to his height. So like. You think you're out of safe range, but where you think he probably can't hit you, he can still hit you. So it's quite deceptive sort of thing.
Get those ape arms out there, yeah.
It's legit.
Like, I was like, when this fight first got announced, I'm like, this is just like a given fight for Volk, But the more I'm thinking about it and the more I've sort of reviewed some of Zombie's fights, he's a very fucking dangerous fighter, right? Like,
man.
Like maybe I underestimated him or something, and maybe I'm just looking at like rankings and whether he's been beaten and that, because you remember people's losses, right? But he's super dangerous, and dangerous for guys like Volk as well. When you look at the way he moves, and some of his past opponents just remind me a little bit of the way Volk moves, and I think he's a threat, and obviously that's why they put him up there, that he deserves it. But he's definitely got some pretty strong areas of his game, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Well, like Zombie's the type of guy where you can't get lazy with him. You can't throw shots half committal with not too much emphasis on the defense, because that's where he gets his counters is. Like they got Edgar with the uppercut, Moicano with your overhand. Like he's really good at just finding the chin if you're lazy with any punches. And that's what makes him dangerous, because you could be beating this guy for 24 minutes, but you slip up, throw a wrong shot, you mistime it, or he draws you into a fake and he throws that big counter. He can put people out with one punch. So there's always that sort of threat with his hands. But then also, as he showed in his last fight with Ige, and even just his whole career, like his submission threats are legit. His wrestling's good. So he's a very well-rounded opponent. I think people just look at the Ortega fight and they just do MMA map, like Volko bashed Ortega, Ortega beat Zombie. So therefore Volko beats Zombie sort of thing, which I guess it sort of plays, but then styles make fights. Zombie may have been a bit off, and I think it's going to be closer than people think. Like I saw the odds of something today, and Zombie was like $5 something. Like, don't be wrong, Volko should be a big favorite, but I think giving Zombie like a 5-1, a 6-1 chance has just been sort of not disrespect or anything, but I think he's got not a higher chance of winning, but I think people counting him out where like people don't understand they're still a very dangerous opponent. And like Volko's gonna, don't get me wrong, I think Volko's gonna handle him. He's got all the right tools in that, but Volko's gonna have to be on for the 25 minutes or however long it takes for him to finish him. He can't sort of play around so you see some champions, they get fights where they're just racking up defenses and you can sort of be like, oh, yep, it's pretty much how it's going to go. He doesn't have to do too much. He can just win each round and that sort of thing. But someone like Zombie, it's not enough. You always have to be defensive. So you always have to be on. So I think that's where it sort of adds that X factor. Because realistically, Volko probably hasn't fought anyone who like has that one punch KO power probably since maybe Auto, but then he sort of shut out of the game plan. Then you'll say Mendes, and he got clipped a couple of times going into a fire and that sort of thing. So it is a stylistically a dangerous matchup for him. But I think, like obviously, as I'm probably going to always say, but I think Volker is just going to have too many answers for him and that sort of thing.
Yeah, man. I was watching a good breakdown by Dan Hardy. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. The one
Is that his full reptile one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
It's really good, eh? Like he does such a great job, eh? But one of the things that I kind of noticed on there that I'd never really paid attention to is he talks about like how he's reading things and looking at stuff and then reacting to it. He's not just like got his preconceived things that he does. You can see like from the videos he breaks down, you can see him looking for something and then doing it, like looking for the jaw and popping that uppercut, or looking at the guy and then turning it into a twister, you know, that first twister in the UFC. Like he's in the middle of the fight and he's looking for openings and reacting to them. So like you said, that defense and that is pretty paramount to Volk getting through it, defense and offense, obviously. But the defense part, if he leaves any holes, Zombie's got a chance of exploiting. You know, he's a guy that kind of doesn't mind getting smashed. He walks into the pocket and he's looking for those openings while he walks into the pocket, moving in head on. He's not scared to get hit. When he's looking for those counters and that. So yeah, he's quite a dangerous guy, man. And then you add on that submission skill. He's got some real nice DAS and obviously twister and etc. wins on his record. So he's definitely a threat, eh? And I'm pretty excited about this fight now. I wasn't in the beginning, but now I am.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Same with me. Like I felt the same. Oh, I guess I didn't really feel the same because you sort of talk about the top 10 and who's up next, who's where, and who's 1 or 2 fights away. And Zombie was always in the discussion about, like, Volko's been saying probably since he won the belt that he wouldn't mind fighting like a legend like Zombie, who's been in there with all the best guys. He's been there since WEC days. So he's been around sort of thing. And yeah, like you said, he does pose not a new set of challenges that Volko hasn't faced. It's not like he's facing Ortega or he's never fought someone with that submission level threat sort of thing. But he's fighting just a stylistic matchup he hasn't fought for a while. Like, don't be wrong, Ortega and Holloway are both extremely dangerous in the division, but their danger is different. Holloway's danger is he can overwhelm you with volume, and then he makes a margin too big for you to catch up, and you just end up only getting 1 strike after his 2 or 3, and you fall behind him with volume, you lose that way. Ortega, as I say, can just snatch next. So Zombie has that ability just to put your lights out sort of thing. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah,
man. I'm expecting like a pretty aggressive start from Zombie. I reckon he's going to walk straight forward. You know, looking at the counter punching and go straight in, maybe even potentially look for a takedown early in the fight, man. But yeah, I reckon obviously like every single one I do, I'm looking positively and kind of like optimistically for the Australian or the Kiwi or whatever. But obviously the champ here, almost an unblemished record, unbeaten in UFC. I'm looking at Volk taking him out. I feel like the Zombie's got a mad chin, right? Like he generally doesn't get too badly hurt. He relies on his chin the way he fights. So I'm thinking probably a points win from Volk, but he's always got the chance of that knockout. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it, bro? I mean, if you can't give any prediction or whatever, it's good. Good, whatever you want, man.
No, I reckon I don't think anything wrong with a prediction. Like I think Volko is going to stop him. To be honest, like I think what's going to happen is similar to the Ortega fight, but I think what Volko did with a grounded pound is going to be the difference. I think that once Zombie gets in there, and I think Zombie's best bet's the first round, first couple of minutes of that first round where he can throw the counters up the shot and he can't let Volko settle, because if you're just trying to counter someone like Alex, he just overwhelms you with too much. Like he'll throw one thing, he'll get a read, then he's got 5 different things to do if you're one read. And then off each reaction unit of that, and he keeps building and keeps building. And so countering isn't going to be an option. I wouldn't be surprised if Zombie forced to wrestle. I know Zombie's got a very good ground game, but as we all saw, Volk has probably one of the most, not underrated, but one of the like best all-round skill sets. So I think when Zombie doesn't find the success on the feet, he's probably going to try and find on the ground. I don't think he's going to find much success there. Then I think that's when Volko is going to crumble him. So I'm going to go probably I'm going to go second round TKO for Volko.
Awesome. Hey, Cause has just asked, did Volk end up doing any training with Kambosos?
No, he didn't. I know they talked about it, but yeah, it just didn't happen for scheduling reasons or something. But I'm assuming probably after, because I'm guessing Kambosos is probably going to be in camp for June now. So I think it's more just going to be once Volko's out of camp and George is out of camp, that's when they teed up and do like a couple of sessions or something together.
Awesome. Hey man, on the same card, there's some good fights. Hey, Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan's another one. Like it's exciting, right? Because they had that first fight. Obviously Peter Yan was bringing it on towards the end of that fight. Looked like he might even take Aljamain out in maybe the 5th, but he gave him a legal knee, and then Aljamain took the easy route out from what it looks like anyway. From looking in, looks like he perhaps faked that he couldn't continue, and
got
then
an Oscar for it.
Yeah, exactly. But in saying that, I feel like a bit of a dog for saying it. Like for you, it's all right because you're an MMA fighter. You put yourself in there as a pro. You know, you can kind of make the judgment. From everyone else looking out there on the couch, going, "Get up! I would have got up." You know, it's easier said than done because that was a hard, grueling fight, man. He'd gone, I think it was 4 minutes 30 of the 4th round. So he had 30 seconds left in the round. He'd been working so hard that whole fight, so 20 minutes of flat out pace. And then he's got an option. Does he take it and get another fight and get another payday and keep the belt? You know, it's easier said than done. Like it's easy for someone to sit on the outside and say, yeah, you actor. But then he probably took the easiest route for himself, and it was an illegal move. So, yeah, I know, let it be, I reckon.
Yeah, well, for sportsman, I'm like, oh, I don't know if that was the right call, like staying down that. For like a business and like career and marketing standpoint, that was the best thing that could have happened. Like he did all right in the first round, but after that, he was getting his ass handed to him. He was definitely going to lose. He was losing in a fashion where he'll probably have to win 2 or 3 more fights to get a rematch. So him staying down from the knee pretty much not so much got him a lot more, but definitely didn't get him any more fans, but it got him way more attention than he's ever get. Obviously now, if he comes out and gets dominated again, it's not going to be good. But even then, he's still going to get a much bigger payday now for having a belt than he would for not having a belt. The status or the promotions, the sponsors that come with it, even just how he's sort of making a meme out of it now. And after obviously a couple of months, people started coming around onto his side, like not necessarily saying that he was winning a fight, by saying what Jan was done was stupid. So like fair play to him for staying down. Like realistically, and none of us know, I heard he was like, it was a solid knee. It wasn't like it skimmed and he could continue. Like he legitimately looked hurt. So, but yeah, I think Jan's just going to be too much. I think unless Sterling can do what he did in the first round and keep it up for 5 rounds where he's just so many looks, so many fakes, so many punches, kicks, chains everything together. But I think Jan doesn't mind taking the first round off to get his reads, and from there it just sort of snowballs. So I'm thinking Jan's probably going to be pretty hungry. So I'm thinking Jan might finish him this time, to be honest.
Yeah, man. And just back again on that knockdown on the knee. He a couple of like seconds before that, he took like a few solid punches, man, from Jan. So I'm thinking those punches look just as solid as cracking a knee that wasn't like, the knee wasn't like straight onto his chin or anything like that. So I'm just thinking if you could take a punch like that and keep moving okay, I think he probably could have continued from that knee in particular. But, you know, it's just looking outside in again anyway. But yeah. I reckon he looks like in that first round, he looked more athletic, man. He looked pretty amazing. He's got like those all-round striking as well. Like he's throwing everything, right? He's an impressive fighter, and I think we kind of forget that. And the odds have forgotten that
definitely,
too.
100%.
When you look at the odds, we've forgotten that too, because he's like a massive underdog as well in this one. And I don't think it should be that wide a gap again, because he's actually very athletic, and he also was having issues. Was it with his knee or shoulder? I think it was his. I think it might have been his knee. He had some major
because he had neck surgery after.
Neck. It was it was a neck. Hey, that's what it was. Neck or back or something. And he was saying that he couldn't sleep, couldn't train, couldn't fuck, whatever, all these things. And he and now he said life is great now because he can do all those things that he couldn't do before. So is that going to make a difference to him? Who knows, man? Maybe he will have a greater athleticism or, you know, greater cardio or something. Because if he could continue at the pace he did in the first all the way through, then he's going to be a little bit more difficult to handle for Peter Yan. And obviously, Peter Yan's like almost perfection, right? He's not so flashy or anything, but he has so many, he's just so tight in everything he does. Everything's like perfect textbook. And he's got those sort of slightly different trips and takedowns and stuff that people don't usually do as well. What do you think about that, man? You're more familiar with that than me, obviously.
Yeah, I think you make a good point about Aljo's neck and everything. I think also people sleep on Aljo. They forget, like, you look at what Sandhagen and Dillashaw, they had a war, and that's pretty two of the best. Aljo went in there and got Sandhagen out of there in like a minute and a half and choked him out, sort of unconscious sort of thing. So, like, you can't, don't get me wrong, I still favor Yan, but I think the people who are sleeping on Aljo, they're forgetting how, like, don't get me wrong, the fight played out in like the second, third, fourth round is all Yan's story. But that first round was still very close, and Aljo won that pretty comfortably. So I think if Aljo can implement that game plan, and when Yan sort of plays that tight guard, he likes that counter pressure to mix in with level change, but also fake off the level changes, come up with his punches, tries to clinch and makes it a lot more scrambly. Whereas Peter likes to walk, set the pace, in front of people, be defensive, throw his counter shots. So I think that makes it hard for him. But I think Aljo needs to get it on the deck, but he also needs, it's easier said than done because Yan is such a good scrambler, but if he can, he needs to sort of get him down and keep him down and try and drown him on the grappling sense on the floor. But then again, against someone like Yan, it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, bro. I'm just trying to chuck the Zoom meeting stuff down. So if anyone wants to jump on,
yeah, nice.
You can kind of see their meeting number and passcode. Calls if you want to jump on, or anyone else.
How long ago was that, the fight? Oh, it was over a year ago. Okay.
Yeah. Some time ago. Hey, what I was asking before, the Peter Yan did the takedowns, bro. Like he's got some interesting takedowns, Like
the leg trips off the clinches and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that. Yeah.
Things are a bit harder for these guys to prepare for because they're kind of like a little bit more unusual. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of that sort of almost that Thai essence of grappling where he controls the upper body, uses the leg sweeps and that, whereas Sterling's very good in the sort of like American wrestling grappling sort of sense, but it's that's what you saw. You saw Yan was able to stuff his double legs. Then when Aljo would come up for the clinch with your upper half, Yan was able to get his leg trip, sweep the leg out, like get his back, pull him over legs and stuff like that, and almost ragdoll him with some of them takedowns, make it look effortless sort of thing.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm just looking at their stats too. Like, they're the same height, but Sterling's got 10 centimeters reach. You could kind of see that the way they were fighting, especially in that first. He was landing quite a few nice, long, straight shots and that. What's your final outcome prediction on this one, man?
Oh, man, I think Yan's the best 135 in the world at the moment. I don't really think anybody's going to beat him for a while, if I'm being honest. I think depends how well. It's hard to say, but I think it's going to be a closer fight than the first one was initially. But saying that, it's going to sound sort of weird, but I think it's going to be closer until Jan gets it done. And I think Jan finishes in this time, if that makes sense. So I think it's going to be pretty even. Then Jan's just going to end up just running away with it, like finishing maybe the 4th or 5th round sort of thing. I think Aljo is going to keep a better pace during the first 3 and probably look more dangerous than in there. But I think as soon as it gets to that 4th, 5th round, I'm expecting Jan to really take over and get a stoppage then.
Yeah, man. I kind of agree that I think Jan's going to be, he's going to want revenge on this guy. This guy kind of took his belt, took some money away from him and everything. And I think he's going to, he obviously looks down on him and he knows he can hurt him. So I think he's going to take this one pretty easily. I'd like to see Sterling fight. What's that? Sandhagen. I reckon that'd be a pretty sick fight, eh? Like after
of a rematch.
Yeah, I'd like to see the rematch of those guys, eh? And then I would also like to see Sandhagen potentially get another shot with Jan as well, because I think he's still growing. I think he's still, improving fight by fight. So, yeah, that was a pretty tight one as well.
Against Dillashaw? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was tight against Dillashaw, and I think he's got the potential to be a threat to Jan as well, because he's like kind of like a better version of Sterling in a way, like better, striking and that to an extent.
What were the final scorecards for that fight with Jan? Was it, Jan and Sandhagen, 49-46. Yeah, so 4-1. Yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah.
And obviously one other great fight on that card is Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns, man. I think that's going to be another sick one that everyone wants to see. And it's just this draw of Khamzat. I don't know. He's like we all like these guys that suddenly come out and so confident and get their winning streak up and doing it so dominantly. Yep. I know everyone wants to see if he can do what he kind of seems to be able to do. What do you reckon about him, man? Do you think he's able to hang at this level, or what do you reckon?
I think firstly that Gilbert Burns at $4.90 is a good bet for anyone who wants to make some money, guys. So get on that. But also, I think it's hard to say because it's just that unknown factor with Khamzat. Like we've seen him beat guys like Misha, Leach, and everybody like that, and they were impressive victories. But we just haven't seen him fight this top echelon of competitors, sort of thing. I think it's by far his hardest test on the feet, his hardest test of like experience of the opponent, the hardest test on the ground. So it's a lot of unknowns. Like I guess I would be sort of surprised if Khamzat not so much couldn't do what he normally does, but couldn't have success. I think obviously the odds and everything is in favor of Khamzat coming out, running through Burns and that, but I don't think it's how it's going to be. And I think if Khamzat ran through Burns, it'd be like, all right, this guy's he's probably going to have a 6'5" Usman. It's still going to be an unknown. But if you could see Khamzat sort of have that early success, Burns comes back a bit, gives Khamzat some of his like first adversity, and then Khamzat still stays strong and finish him later on. I think that would be a lot more sort of telling, this guy can, not only can he smash people super quick, he can smash people, sort of get a bit given back to him, face some adversity, then come back and really sort of secure the fight over the last round. So, man, but it's just an unknown factor. I'm leaning toward Khamzat, but I don't think Burns should be a 5-1. I don't think Gilbert Burns against anyone in that division should ever be 5-1 sort of thing. Like, look how good he did against Usman in the first round. He dropped him. But I don't know what he was thinking where he didn't engage with him on the ground. But obviously that's done in the past and that sort of thing. But that could have changed the fight. And Burns could have been the champion if he engaged or he ushered him up to his feet sort of thing. And Burns, listen to a few interviews with Burns. He's aware of like the challenges or hype and the problems that Chimaev brings. And I think he's going to be very ready for it. So, I guess I'm going to lean toward Khamzat, but I'm expecting like an absolute banger. And I think this will probably be fight of the night, to be honest.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see. Like you said, he's coming up against a much more difficult opponent. And if you watch the way he fought the Leach before, he was kind of rushing and doing careless things, right? Like he doesn't need to be talking and running, picking him up and walking him over to that point and just be, kind of forgetting about what he's doing and not respecting him. But I don't think he can afford to do that sort of thing with Burns. So let's see if he tries, because I think he'll just be inclined. That's what his success has been, to do something a bit stupid like that and rush. And he might put himself in a bit more danger, because Burns is dangerous. Like you said, he nearly knocked out Kamaru Usman. So this is the best in the world. He's a little bit of a different threat than the Leech, who hasn't even gotten up near that echelon, you know. So yeah, I see in the first round that Burns is obviously going to be super dangerous with his punching, right? If Chimaev can get past that first part, I think he might have a pretty strong chance. But he's got to get through the hands first. I would say that's the biggest threat to begin with, because he's quite fast, eh? Like Burns punches really fast, and he's slightly.
And he's got power.
He's got power. I don't really like the way he does stand up, but he still hits hard, and he moves kind of slightly weirdly as well, which might mean he's like a little bit difficult to figure out in that beginning. And I think he's going to be dangerous. He sort of bounces around, and I think he's got the chance of landing a big bomb on comes out and waking him up. Let's see though. Yeah. Let's see though. He comes out, looks invincible, and everyone thinks he's invincible. Look at the odds, but I'm not so sure he is invincible.
Game plan wise, like you see what Mercer did. Mercer circled 10 steps to his left and ran into a right hand. Obviously, Burns is going to do that. And then with the Leech pretty much ran at him and threw a 1-2. And what's the last thing you want to do at a wrestler is rush them and headhunt them in the first 10 seconds and give them your legs. So I think if Burns calms out, probably he will have to almost, I guess he could press forward to put Khamzat on the back foot to make it hard for him to shoot. But even if he takes a back foot, which is I see Khamzat coming out and establishing that pressure straight away, as long as he flicks his jabs, chops the low kicks, flicks things down the center and keeps Khamzat busy where he can't just rush in and sort of almost survive that first initial minute or two where Khamzat's full of hype. Crowd's going to be nuts. It's going to be wild sort of thing. And then actually establish whether in a fight with a rhythm of that. And if Burn can set his own pace, I think it's going to be pretty telling, like over the first few minutes, how the fight's going to go. If Khamzat's just going to grab him and, he's too big, he's too strong, takes him down, like, oh, well, fuck what you can do. Or if Burns, like, stops the first takedown, start landing some punches, then this can be like, all right, we've got a good fight on our hands sort of thing. But at the end of it, I'm probably still going to pick Chimaev. But I don't think, man, I'll be very surprised if he finishes Burns in 3 rounds. I'm going to just go Chimaev's by decision.
Yeah, man, I think that's the smart bet, obviously. But like you said, these odds for all these 3 fights, I think the odds are too wide. So there's a chance that one of these guys is going to come through, So out of the 3 fights of the underdogs, I would say this is probably the biggest chance, because we've just got so many unknowns with Khamzat, and he's fought much easier opponents until now. Burns is a decorated guy, power, great jiu-jitsu. I think he's got more of a chance of getting the upset than the other two fellas. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably say Khamzat, but I think if I'm betting money again, I'll probably bet on Burns just for the odds.
If you did a 3-leg multi with Zombie, Burns, and Sterling, it's $123 to 1.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
So if you want to, no, actually,
if you want to bet against Volk, you putting that one on? You putting that one on?
Me? Nah, I can't be too biased, but off live, I could tell you how I really think the zombie fight's going to go. But on live, it's going to be competitive. But afterwards, we'll say what really is going to happen. Yeah,
I understand. At the same time, though, as you said, he's always dangerous. At that level, everyone's dangerous, right? Everyone's got their own specialties, their own threats. And I'm sure Volk and you guys have done your homework, and you know what they are, and you've already covered that anyway.